Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwartner, and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we have the great pleasure of meeting with Mark McNacker. He is co-founder and president of Allego. Did I pronounce this right?
Yes, you did. It's Allego, rhymes with Legos.
What is the meaning of Allego?
It's the Latin root of allegory, which of course is a short story designed to make a point.
We are living in interesting times, and everybody needs to be more creative about virtual selling. How do you define virtual selling?
This idea of virtual selling is not really new. Virtual selling used to happen on the telephone, but there's a whole generation of people that didn't grow up using the telephone, that grew up using, let's call it email and text, right? This digital generation. And you would think that they would be naturally attuned to exactly what to do in this time. And what we've realized is that some of the skills from the past, I'll call it from the telephone virtual selling era, and then some of the skills around technology, and particularly doing what you and I are doing today, those two things need to come together to really learn how to master this new process.
So how has the COVID pandemic changed the way the people learn how to sell?
The short answer is it's a massive shift, a 90% change pretty much overnight. And now that we're 6 months plus into it, for many people, they're really starting to develop some of the nuances of how to become not just average at this, but really very good.
So when you look at the other side, when you look at the buyer, how have buyer behaviors and preferences changed? And how do they want to be sold to?
A lot of the things that great salespeople did before still need to be done. Things like having empathy, things like having curiosity to do your research, to understand what's going on in the industries that you're calling on or with the people that you're calling on. A lot of those things are the same. But some of the biggest things that have shifted in this environment is recognizing that people want to work with someone who can make the buying process easy. And so to the extent, using us as an example, I was on a call with one of our salespeople just yesterday. And in the course of the conversation that was being recorded in what we call coaching, which is a feature within Allego, and this was an existing customer, and she said to our salesperson with me on the line, I would like you to get me just about the 2-minute piece where Mark was explaining how this new process works. She said, I want that piece because I'm going to share that piece of video with the rest of my team before I go in and talk about this expansion process.
So what you're also saying is that buyers prefer watching videos or video clips in order to learn about the opportunity.
Well, I think if you look at YouTube as an example, where do most people today go to learn how to do new things? YouTube is not a collection of short emails that you can read, right? It's a collection of videos because the video does something unique. By definition, even if the video is not of perfect quality, so long as the sound quality is good enough and you can hear what the person is saying, the person who's teaching you how to fix a flat tire, as an example, or cut a pineapple or whatever the thing might be, that person is demonstrating to you before your eyes that they themselves know how to do it, giving themselves the credibility of a subject matter expert. It's against that backdrop that video has a unique role. But one of the things that we've learned, even as a video-centric company, Gerhard, is that video is not the whole story. That there's absolutely still a need for a PDF document. There's absolutely still a need, in many cases, for a PowerPoint type document. And so one of the things that we've done is we've said, imagine if a short video could literally act like a mini website that had just been created. Because in this video, you've captured the message and there's a hyperlink to the data that I just shared with you. There's another link to a white paper or a PowerPoint, and it's all embedded in this short form video. All of a sudden, this becomes a multi-purpose content piece that becomes really useful if you're a buyer and you're a buyer who wants to help convince other people about why you think this is the approach.
Which one of the virtual selling practices do you think will survive COVID-19 once it's done?
There's a number of them, but the biggest one is this concept that we called activating sellers. There's always been this, what I'm going to call creative tension between the CMO and the chief revenue officer or the head of sales. You've got the marketing organization doing the best they can to try to create content that's useful to the sales organization. On the flip side of the coin, you have the sales organization trying to use this content with the field. And very often the struggle is, how do you create a framework, what I would like to call a quality assurance process, that the content that's being used by marketing is actually what sales is asking for. And then there's this feedback loop. So one of the things we found is we have a number of customers who are using Allego in the realm of content activation, meaning here's the sell sheet of this particular product, and then here's our number one salesperson describing, this is how I use it. So that's content activation. And then the concept of seller activation is saying, we've now brought on a new salesperson. Imagine being able to literally flip a switch. And in some cases, over the course of a weekend, I've seen it with people who've been hired on a Friday, that Monday morning they've showed up, and I've had sales managers say, I didn't even ask the salesperson to do it. They showed up on day one, and this was just before the pandemic, and they told me they've been through 40 videos over the weekend, and they have some really good questions, but they're ready to get started. That's only been exacerbated through this whole COVID time, because now more than ever, people need to use this kind of tool to get ready to sell. And that's really the heart of what sales enablement is all about. And that's very closely aligned with what we're doing to help our customers.
How can people learn more about Allego?
Probably the best way is just to come visit us at allego.com. That's ALLEGO.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.